In addition to Cruiser Outfitters, we desert race. We operate a team called Kangaroo Racing, comprised of about a couple dozen Land Cruiser aficionados and Toyota guys here in town that we all get together collectively and do desert races such as the Baja 1000. And not only do we rely on ARB products for all of our chase vehicles and support vehicles to get the car through the race, but the race car itself has an ARB rear locker and ARB Solus intensity lights. My name is Kurt Williams and I own and operate Cruiser Outfitters in Salt Lake City, Utah.
I bought a Land Cruiser when I was 15 years old, and my dad and I started fixing that up as a high school vehicle, a 1968 FJ40. I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree from the University of Utah in 2006. Cruiser Outfitters was never meant to be a full gig for me. In fact, it was the get me through the end of school, have some cruiser money, play with Land Cruisers, and then, go get a real job, right? Quote unquote, get a real job in the real world.
Cruiser Outfitters formed in 1992 in Salt Lake City. We were importing ARB goods even from Australia at that time before full distribution and a whole dealer network was available in the United States. They did have a presence here, but we were bringing stuff over directly from Australia at the time. Even before I personally owned Cruiser Outfitters, when I was an employee there, I bought air lockers and put them in my 1972 FJ40s. That would be my first ARB purchase, would have been in the late 90s, purchased some air lockers. It's not at all uncommon for us still to see a 25-year-old air locker in use and functioning in a Land Cruiser that just pulls into our shop, and that's a key and fundamental feature of some of the ARB components, or all of the ARB components, is that reliability, and they are built for some of the world's hardest conditions and built to survive and continue operating for many years. There are absolutely times where we've relied on ARB products to make or break the day, and one of those is racing the Baja 1000 and the notorious silt beds that can swallow trucks whole. And even though we're running a very large 4x4 vehicle, 37-inch tires, silt will still bury that thing down, and with the ARB rear locker, we've been able to get through those silt beds. I've been fortunate to travel throughout the world in a lot of remote and austere conditions, and many of those have been in Land Cruisers fully equipped with ARB product. So not only do I rely on it on my own vehicle here at home, but I've been able to travel places where we ultimately relied on ARB equipment to get us there and back. While overlanding may be a little newer market in the United States, it's old hat in Australia. So companies like ARB certainly were ahead of the game and were doing touring and overland equipment long before it was a popular thing here in the United States. So to see them continue with that tradition, continue making that kind of gear for the newer modern platforms we get here in the United States, it's fun to see where they're going with it. The Old Man Emu suspension line is just a true and tested system that works in a variety of conditions and for a variety of different Toyota platforms. When you use the ARB and Old Man Emu systems, you know that you're going to get components and kits that are made just for that platform, but also that they all integrate and work really well with each other. You can dial into the suspension to handle the additional loads you have, such as bars and winches. One of the key features of an Old Man Emu suspension system is the ability to dial it in for the weight and the accessories that the end user is going to have. So it's not just about setting it up for the vehicle they have that day, it's about identifying their goals and their future plans and setting up a suspension that's going to accommodate those needs as well. Things like winch bars, rear bars, drawer systems. Old Man Emu's got a wide variety of load capacity coils and leaf springs to accommodate those needs. This 200 series Land Cruiser behind me is my personal get out and go vehicle. It features the Old Man Emu BP51 suspension system with the bypass shocks. It's got the ARB front and rear bars and side rails, and the ARB drawer system in the rear. It also features the ARB air locker and twin compressor under the hood.
I love traveling in Utah, so I've been fortunate to travel on a lot of neat adventures around the globe and see some amazing places that I dear memories and would love to go back, but some of my favorite trips are just a few hours from Salt Lake here.